Hello and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 335. Today is Saturday, September 19th, 2020, and I'm glad you could join me today. What would it be? I got to break into some new coffee, which was exciting. What would it be? And this one is one that's available in a lot of places actually, so it's counterculture, and it is apparently or what would it be? Apparently counterculture coffee is headquartered in North Carolina, but they also have roasting in Emeryville, which is the small town, city, I don't know, whatever, between Berkeley and Oakland and East Bay. So not too crazy. Change of position today, mostly due to the time of recording. It's probably quite a bit later than usual, and Carl has not joined us to make everything or to make the light delightfully soft. So, would it be, it's been, would it be a little bit of a crazy week for a couple of different reasons, but one of those reasons is that every day this week at 7 a.m. they've been doing road work on the street right outside my bedroom window. So haven't been getting as much sleep in the morning. And then I have been watching The Americans. I'm now in the 4th season, and I think it's the last season. Would it be? So this has been perfect sweater knitting viewing. It is very fascinating and engrossing, which then means that I ended up getting an awful lot done on my project this week, which was cool. So, yeah, no. And then for everything else that happened this week, I was just like, I am so tired. So, not too crazy, but here is the sweater so far. So this is the Mesa Sweater Wrap by Romy Hill, and I think you guys can see, at least with reasonable fidelity, how this bad boy is turning out. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish the row on because I'm actually redoing the sleeves a little bit. So, what was it? Probably, was that last night? I guess that was last night. I finally got to the point where I was going to put in the sleeve or the slits for the sleeves, and then I ended up like knitting a couple of rows past, and I tried it on. I'm like, yeah, no, that's a little tight. So I had to accept the fact that I needed to rip back to the point where I did the cast off, give it another inch, and hopefully that will end up working out a lot better. So this is not how the pattern is done, but it is how I am doing the pattern because I did not want to break my hand spun up that much. So what would it be? But I already know that this idea works. I just guessed wrong. So I would rather have it so that I could get it higher up in my arm, and where it was landing was fairly low. So would it be? And in this version of the sweater, I started the sleeve increases a bit later, so there's that as well. So I am knitting that out of my Ginny the Fleece yarn, and just, you can see, I have quite a bit to recover from. But what was it? I suppose I should show the little progress keeper as well. So if you needed some visual confirmation of how far I ended up getting this week, there's my marker and here's where I'm at. So what would it be? I finished up Teal Teal Blue, I finished up Blue Blue Blue, and I'm now in Blue Blue Purple. So not too crazy there. So I'm gonna put in the sleeve should be centered in the middle of my Blue Blue Purple only section, and then I'll be adding in Purple Purple Blue pretty soon. So what would it be? So these sleeves actually mark the halfway point on the project, which is awesome. So what would it be? It does make me wonder, like, because I've made lots and lots of progress on this project this week. Almost to the point where I'm not even sure that I have done any spinning at all. But since I ended up finding since I ended up finding that this was a show that I really wanted to watch, and that it was perfect for what I was trying to do, I was like, you know what, ride the wave. So hopefully that won't be too crazy. And I don't know if I'll end up going through some other shows that I intended to watch on Amazon Prime, that sort of thing. We'll see. But I did end up actually making some pretty good progress on my sock as well. So this is the Now and Next, which is by Marce of Hey Brownberry. And so I am doing this for a couple of different things. For the first time, I'm actually participating in the Knit Girls Halloween Craft All the Things. I've somehow managed to get my phone charger entangled in the yarn, so that's impressive. Because, or would it be? So I started this on the 15th so that it would qualify for that. What also started on the 15th of September was the Earth Tones Girl Falling Leaf Sock Cow. And I had selected this yarn color because it was the most fall of all of my handspun sock experiments. I've been, what would it be, very focused on knitting with handspun. It is my intention of the moment right now, which is fine. I can definitely see the possibility of what would it be? Maybe my next project will be commercial yarn. We'll see. But this is Southern Cross Fiber in the Desert Rose colorway, and I spun it as an opposing ply 3-ply. And this was the one that I ended up plying twice. So I did 2 singles the normal direction, 1 single the opposite direction. I plied the 2 signals together, and then I plied my 2-ply with my single in order to make this 3-ply yarn. So it's sort of a cable. I'm not sure I necessarily did the greatest job plying the whole thing, but would it be? It's definitely sort of energetic and kinky and crazy, and try to so I'm not sure if I got like I'm not sure whether or not I overplied the 2-ply enough for subsequent plying afterwards. But it's definitely making sock yarn, it's definitely hanging together, so that's probably fine. I'm guessing I must have had like a little bit of a funny edge because the top of the sock is the only place where there is an abrupt transition. And I don't know where to hold this so that you guys can actually see what's going on. Now my computer screen is the sun, so I can't even see what's going on. But I figure this counts for a bunch of different knit-alongs. Oh, and the other knit along it counts for is in sock knitters. We're doing, oh, I don't, it's something about kittens, but mostly it's about knitting with a designer you haven't ever worked with before. So this is the first time that I'm knitting one of Mars's patterns. So yeah, okay. Not that the color's right, but you can definitely see the texture. How close could I bring this in, or do I need to use it to shadow itself? Oh, I can't even see if it's focused at all. I'm sorry about that. We'll just have to wait until next week to properly show this. But what would it be? So, Sock Knitters Cal, Knit Girls Cal, and then Earth Tones Girl Cal, all together, all at once. And would it be a chance to also support Merciful? So that was pretty cool. So she also has a version of this pattern that is toe up with a fleal heel. Which is, now I'm totally blanking on the name of the pattern, but it's a very similar title to Now and Next, but not too crazy there. So if you're more into toe up than top down, then that pattern would probably be a better choice for you. But I'm a pretty dedicated cuffy. It takes something special for me to find it worth it to knit toe up socks. So what would it be? No shade to those who love it. But it is turning out really cool. It's, what would it be? This is pretty dense, and that's for a couple of reasons. Normally I knit hand spun socks on double zeros, but because this was more like a 350 yard skein, I decided since it was maybe a little bit more sporty that I should do that. But it is actually knitting up at a very dense gauge, so it isn't even on the gauge ruler. So I'm actually at 9.5 stitches per inch. I don't think it's going to be a problem because I'm knitting a 72 stitch sock, but it is going to be a bit more negative ease than I usually do. So, we shall see. But I really do like how the colors are turning out. I definitely ended up, when I was showing my various online knitting and spinning community that I was working on this and be like, what? Are you okay, Molly? But what would it be? I didn't purchase this fiber for myself. This was a gift from my mother-in-law. So what would it be? It is not my typical blue, but it is really gorgeous. It's I don't remember if I ended up doing the fractal split for this, but it is making a very harmonious sort of sock. So you have sort of a red, a dark maroon, sort of a sandy brown in there, and I do really like how it's knitting up, which is cool. But it has, like, it's got a decent amount of love, but most of my crafting this week has been all sweater all the time. So I'm guessing I will probably do a bit more spinning after I'm done watching the show, because if it's making the boring knitting fly by, that's a good thing in my eyes at the very least. But I do have my wheel nearby, so I don't think I've done any spinning at all this week though. So It is my intention to drum card two or the other two bumps of this fiber that I end up having, so it is throughout our farm thin in the background blue colorway, and it was completely twisted and arbitrary spin along colorway. So I'm doing pretty good about immediately using that. So to crazy. And what would it be? There's certainly, for the first time in a long time, like not having very many constraints on the crafting. So the only, or would it be, so the sock was like a perfect storm of wanting to knit handspun and having a couple of different cals which it would work for. Would it be, at least with the sweater, I would really like to be able to finish it before the end of the Bay Area Fiber Fair, and I believe that wraps up in about a month. It ends at, what would it be? It ends the weekend of the Lambtown Festival, which will be held online this year. So, would it be, though that would be probably a tremendous amount of knitting. I did manage to get a lot done on the project, but we'll see how it all shakes out. It would count for a lot of different challenges though, so that would be cool. So we shall see what way it goes, because if I keep up with the rate of progress I've been going on, what would it be? Like, it's probably possible? I don't know. I'm sort of curious if I even have a tape measure in here. Nope. It's in the other corner of the room. Oh, such is life. But what would it be? I'll have to do a quick check and see how far I ended up getting. It may just be a short episode this week. It'd be like, because like I did so much knitting, I didn't have much to say. Yeah, no, so that will be interesting. What would it be? I'm taking a look at my sweater quantities and trying to figure out if there are any in particular that I do want to get to. No, or just a general, or would it be? It'd be the case where it has been nice to have sort of that focus of project. So what would it be? And then it was the case where I had my sock as a more easily transportable project for what would it be? Going to work. Silliness. So what would it be? It feels like I'm many weeks away from starting a new spinning project if I continue on the sweater progress. But whatever, such is life. Yeah, no, I think that's all of the excitement. Like, what would it be? My pork roast bathed in onion is roasting in the oven. What would it be? And I'll have to go flip and slosh the onion once I'm done recording this podcast. As you do, not too crazy. But yeah, no, we'll have to figure out what comes next. But as you do. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So, take care, guys. Bye bye.